Hello, good morning. My name is Nilo Bhattacharjee and this is my application PetCare. PetCare is an application that focuses on pet owners trying to make their lives much easier through the use of our application. Uh, it focuses on the health, well-being, and stability of your cat or any pet you have. Uh, so, PetCare these are the table of contents. So pet care is basically focuses on pet owners trying to cope up with all the stress of modern life and taking care of a pet. It's very hard at this point for a working professional to go ahead and take a responsibility of taking care of their pets. It's not that easy. Even for student, it becomes hard. It becomes very hard because of all the stress and all the academic pressures they go through. So for them, this application is a sigh of relief. Basically, we all know a dog is a man's best friend, and with that, I'll start my presentation. So pet care, a pet is a perfect companion for our daily lives, and for all the struggles and all the hectic things we go through our everyday life. If we have a pet in our house, it becomes they become our closest friends. If you have a cat, if you have a dog, they'll treat you they'll treat you like your closest friend. So that's the best thing about having a pet. That's the most beautiful thing about having a pet. But the different side of this is that a pet requires constant care and constant attention. If you don't care for your pets, it might affect their health and their well-being very drastically. If you don't give them enough attention, if you don't give them enough food, if you don't give them their required diet or medication, it might affect them very drastically, and it might even hamper the lives of your pet as well. So we have four main objectives for this application. One is to identify the requirements and concerns of the stakeholder. Two is to design the architecture of the proposed system. Three is to develop a mobile application to help pet owners cater to their basic needs. And four is to evaluate the performance of the application. So the scopes. We have three scopes. The first of all, the project will be an executable system, obviously. Second of all, the project will focus primarily on Skodai Johor. The reason for this is I don't want the project to go to a bigger scope because I want to try it for a small region first. If it works out, if you get a positive review, if I get a positive review, then we can add more functionalities to it and we can expand it to, I don't know, maybe one day cover Johor Bahru. And third of all, the project will only target Android devices because I think Android devices is the most used phones now, so might as well do it for Android. Okay, to make our application, we need some resources. We need to understand a few simple things when it comes to the application. First of all, let's look at a comparison between the applications that are present in the market now. The first application is called 11 Pets. The second application here, it's called My Pets. Now, 11 Pets and My Pets are the most downloaded pet care applications on Google Play. And the funny thing is that they have very subpar reviews because the people that are downloading the software, they expect a decent quality of service. Now, the problem with these applications are, first of all, 11 Pets, everything is behind a paywall. You have to pay a subscription fee for literally anything you do. If you want to even add something to the application, you have to pay for that. So it's pretty useless unless you have enough money to go forward with it. It's around 12 to 11 to $12 USD per month, and depending on what service pack you get, it increases or decreases. And the second one is My Pets. Okay, this application is abysmal. It's very cluttery, it's very clunky, and the UI is horrible. Uh, it's very bland. First of all, you can add some things in it, but it's not worth it. Like if you choose any part of this application, you'll just probably get a blank screen, and you can add and a few lines of text towards it. You can already see it. It doesn't look very appealing. So I don't know why people download this application. It has a lot of bugs as well. It failed to run quite a few times on my phone. I think I don't know if it's my problem or if it's the application that's at fault. But in my opinion, this application, My Pets, it's not worth it at all. And people downloading these softwares, they seek for a service. They seek for something good which they can use to help them out. But I don't think these applications are doing the thing. Second of all, we need to develop the system. We need development tools. So I chose Flutter because Flutter is the best framework right now to work on Android. It gives you a huge library for your user interface. It gives you a huge library. You have a lot of functionalities which you usually don't get. Even if you get it, it's very hard to access those functionalities. And secondly, it's open source, so it's cheaper than most frameworks or IDEs. Another thing it does is it lets you compile for both Android and iOS, so that's a gain as well. The second software, the development tool I'll use is Android Studio. Android Studio it's the best emulation software you can get for your development. It emulates around, I think, 160 phones, so you can develop applications. Flutter runs on Android Studio. You can use Android Studio as an IDE and develop your software, and you'll get a very good simulation of the things you're coding. So that's a plus point of why I'd use Android Studio and Flutter. So after this, we have to talk about the system development methodology. So for this, I'm using Agile plus UX. Agile because whenever applications like these come into favor, mostly when it's very user centric, and users, the stakeholders are the main users as well. So if there are any changes in the future, if the stakeholder, let's say, changes their mind on a functionality, or if they want me to add a functionality to the application, I'll can gladly and easily do it if I go through Agile than, let's say, any other software development method. And Agile plus UX, the UX here is for user experience. Again, as I said before, the first two applications that I showed here are abysmal. You can't do anything with it. So the user experience is, for me at least, it's one of the biggest points whenever it comes to downloading an application. If the user application is not good, if it's not up to the mark, then no one will use it. And if it's boring, then even if they download it, they're gonna delete it in like 2 or 3 days, because there's only so much you can do with an application that's just a black screen and clunky and has bugs every 2 minutes. So the 6 steps in Agile are requirement analysis, planning, development, prototype, testing, and deployment. I'll talk about these in the next slide. First of all, requirement and design. For requirement and design, I interviewed around 15 people. The interviewees were mostly people from Skudai. Majority of the people were working professionals, and a few students from UTM who live outside, not on the campus. So these are some of the questions I asked. There's another question. I don't think you can see it because my screencast cuts off that question. Anyways, the first question was how old is your cat? Not how old is your cat, how many cats do you have? And the second question is, how did you get your cats? Were your cats strays, etc., etc. These are mostly, again, I'm gonna base it on I'm keeping the scope small, so I'm gonna base it on cat owners for now. Later on, if during the development cycle, if I think I can add more animals to it, yeah, why not? And another thing I noticed is the the sense of community. uh, I added a event page where users can mingle with one another and know about the events that are near their areas and everything. And these are mostly for people that are into if cat pet showcases and all that, pet competitions, pet events and everything. They can if there's a pet event near their area, they can communicate. They'll directly know about the event. So these are the functional requirements, such as they shall be able to create a new account, use Google account to set reminders. Okay, if Google account is more necessary, because if you have a Google account, if you want to add an event or anything, if you want reminders, you can get it from Google Calendar. System shall track their health progress. System shall notify their upcoming vaccination shots, etc., etc. User shall adopt the pets from. I added. This is one of another thing that users wanted, and it's the ability to adopt pets from pet stores around their area. This is the use case. You have a pet owner and you have an event organizer, and these are the use cases that I found. The non-functional requirements are the new system can be installed without changing the data set. The system can access a combination of password. They can't access the system if the combination of password is not and email is not correct. Then the system will be available 24/7, and the response time, again, if the application is bad and the response time is bad, no one will download the application. The system architecture design, I chose MVC for that. You have a view, you have a controller, and you have a model. View deals with what you see on the application. Controller deals with all the requests, and data deals with the data set and the database and everything. Speaking of that, this is the data set. So you have your user, they can access pets, pet owners. So this is the overall entity relationship diagram, and this is the user interface. Okay, again, the focus for this would be the focus for my application was a good user interface. So for now, I put for the slide, I put the login screen here, but you can like my other screens are in the report. So it has a forum. You can create accounts. You can add health records and everything. It's all there. So to reinstate the aim of my project. Again, if we look at our project, as I said, UI will be my first priority. If it's not a good UI user interface, it's no point in downloading an application with a very bad user experience. So for the project now, the first two objectives: identification of the requirements set forth by the stakeholders, and to design and develop the proposed system. The system is developed, and the I managed to complete the first two objectives. This was done. The identification was done through the interviews and everything. I interviewed the people. I got the response I wanted, and based on that, my application was created and it was designed as well. So the next steps will be in PSM2, the development and the testing phase. So for now, I'm going to keep the requirements as it is, and with that being said, my mobile application, the first two phases of the development, it did go successfully, and that's my goal is to improve the system in the future. Thank you.